Everything must be done in order to ensure the safety of the civilian population that is being used by Ukrainian soldiers as a shield. Enemy soldiers that want to do so can surrender. As you perfectly know, it's not so easy for Ukrainian soldiers because they get shot in the back. I would like to congratulate the personnel of the united group of our armed forces on achieving these results. At the same time, there's still a lot of work ahead of us on destroying the encircled units of the enemy. And in this regard, here's what I'd like to focus on. In order to minimize unnecessary victims, losses, I would like to ask you, as we did before, to take any measures necessary to make sure that those enemy soldiers that want to do so can surrender. As you perfectly know, it's not so easy for Ukrainian soldiers because they get shot in the back and they get bombs dropped on them by friendly drones when trying to surrender. And yet it is only natural for us that we treat prisoners of war with respect to international laws and norms. Historically, Russian soldiers have always shown mercy towards prisoners of war, and will continue to do so. We have talked about this before, and I've heard reports about different situations along the line of contact, and I'd like to ask you to continue in this vein. During the work mopping up those territories, everything must be done in order to ensure the safety of the civilian population that is being used by Ukrainian soldiers as a shield. All assistance and evacuation assistance must be rendered to civilians. Now, regarding the exercise, I would like to ask the head of the General Staff to report on one another event. You mentioned it briefly. I'm talking about the test of the WWIII missile with the nuclear propulsion engine that has an unlimited range. I know that I have a report from the industrial side. I know what the ministry thinks about this unique weapon that has nothing like that, no counterparts around the world. When we first announced that we were working on such a weapon, even high-profile specialists told me it was a great objective to strive towards. It was a worthy endeavor, but it was something that was not feasible in the foreseeable future. That was something that very knowledgeable people told me. And now the decisive test has been completed. There's still a lot of work to be done in order to deploy this weapon and make it operational. There are many regulations to be observed and stages to go through, and yet all the key tasks have been solved. Now, as far as I understand, so I'd like to hear from you. Comrade Commander-in-Chief, yes, on the 21st of October, that test was carried out. The difference between that launch and the previous launches is that there was a multi-hour flight of that missile that traveled 14,000 kilometers, and that's not its limit. Right, it was powered by a nuclear propulsion engine, and the technical characteristics of the WWIII missile allow it to be used against protected sites anywhere. During the test flight of the missile, all the vertical and horizontal maneuvers were done that had been planned to demonstrate that this missile can overcome any defenses. 14,000 kilometers, right? Yes. And how long was it in flight? About 15 hours. And that's not the limit. No, that's not the limit. We will need to find a way to classify this weapon in the future. kind of a weapon it is. We would need to find a way to define how it can be used and start preparing the infrastructure for deploying this weapon in our armed forces.
Subscribe to Oneindia and never miss an update. Download the Oneindia app now.